In the truck industry, we're faced with a shrunken market due to deregulation, due to the great amount of imports that are coming into the country and less freight to haul. So we're all being faced with the problem of downsizing our companies, reducing our costs.
Good evening. This is the 11th hour for nearly 2,000 jobs at Mack Trucks. Tomorrow, Mack's board of directors is meeting, and in spite of the news blackout, there's a general feeling in the Valley that this meeting could decide the future location of the 5C assembly plant. Now, where will it be built? During an otherwise festive holiday season, many of us in the Lehigh Valley and the community share a common state of frustration and confusion. We're unable to casually accept the potential loss of nearly 2,000 manufacturing jobs after having to come to grips with the shutdown of Black & Decker, 670 jobs, A&B Meats, over 100 jobs, Fairtex Mills, 850 jobs, AT&T, 1375, Geif Textile Mills, 225 jobs, BRW Textile Mill, 300 jobs. And every week we're discussing ways to minimize the tragic loss of over 2,000 jobs at Bethlehem Steel. Now, what should be done to reverse these trends? Many have said, what can I do? Why is this happening in the great Northeast? Does management have the right to renegotiate existing contracts? Now, some say local unions are inflexible. Others say the real decision is made in Detroit, regardless of local feelings. What do you say? Now's your chance to be heard. There'll be two numbers on your screen, telephone numbers. The top one is for participation on this program as time permits. We'll take as many calls as we can. The other number is the community hotline, where you will definitely get through, and your brief comment will be hand-delivered to Mack management, local union representatives, and the Detroit International tomorrow morning. Our electronic mailbox will remain in operation through midnight this evening to accommodate all opinions and concerns. The American way is built on honest toil, equal opportunity, and freedom of speech. Now, we each have a responsibility to exercise that freedom. Why don't you call 778-6633. Let your voice be heard. Call your friends and associates right now. Encourage them to be heard. Our guests this evening are here to address the erosion of Pennsylvania manufacturing sector and what can be done to reverse the trend. Now, high tech is prospering in the Valley, and that's great. But we need to reinstate our vital manufacturing base. Trucks will be built, steel will be forged, textiles will be manufactured somewhere. Why not here instead of Hong Kong, Taiwan, Japan, North Carolina, Kentucky, and other foreign countries? Why not the Lehigh Valley? Our guests this evening are Jim Panyard, Vice President of Pennsylvania Manufacturers Association from Philadelphia. Al Simicat, who is President of Pennsylvania Right to Work in Harrisburg. George Kavalkovich, Mack Truck shop steward, retired, and a veteran of 38 years as a Mack Truck employee. And Charles Snelling, local columnist and businessman. Now, as you know, at this moment, Mack Trucks and the local union are in a news blackout. We can't have them here. Now, hopefully they're negotiating to keep the Bulldogs strong and running in the Lehigh Valley. Well, George Kavalkovich has been building Mack Trucks for many years. Mack has been building them for close to 70 years, so long that the name and symbol are known worldwide, built like a Mack truck. During your years on the assembly line, George, at Mack's, did you ever think you'd see the day when we couldn't compete with foreign nations, or even our own Sun Belt states?
No, I don't think I saw that day because of the quality of work performed by our people here in the Lehigh Valley. with the motto, built like a Mack truck, known throughout the world. We were tops in quality work. That was stressed to us in the shops, signs, and by word of mouth. So we were determined to make the best product possible anywhere in the world.
That pride is still there, isn't it, George?
The pride is still there. Another thing I want to remind you, when a worker didn't do his job right and went down the line and the other party saw it, that party had to go back and do that work right.
Jim Panyard, you're Vice President of Pennsylvania Manufacturers Association. Is this a local problem, or do other parts of Pennsylvania have this problem as well?
This is a statewide problem, Dick, from east to west and north to south. The western section of the state is very hard hit at the present time with the steel mills and other industries that have gone out of business. But generally it comes back to Roost and Harrisburg, where our politicians have ignored economic reality for what they term political reality. In other words, don't cast the hard vote, give away the store, get reelected. And over a 20-year period, it's finally catching up to us.
You're saying the politicians haven't been totally open on this thing, huh?
Well, they've been very open in giving away things they had no right to give away and encouraging a number of the problems that we have in the state.
Charles Snelling, you've been in business for how many years?
Well, more than 30.
More than 30. Now, you must certainly be aware of the sincere efforts of MAC local union to cooperate and negotiate through hard times in the past. Yet you've written some pretty controversial bylines. What's your beef?
Well, my concern is simply to be sure that the employees of MAC and the community as a whole know what the issues are and make a decision that they themselves are going to be happy with in future years.
And you don't think they're making that decision?
No, I have no way of knowing that. I think that there were signs that there were impediments being placed in the way of the will of the local union members in having a full say in what they thought was best for them. I thought other people's considerations were being placed ahead of our local citizens.
Al Simicott, you're president of Pennsylvania's Right to Work from the Harrisburg area. Now, that means you're against unions, right?
No, absolutely not. My one concern is that perhaps the local unions are not getting the message across to the officials. I'm afraid that the international union officials and to a great extent the local officials themselves are out of touch with the rank and file.
And what can be done about that?
Well, basically what I would believe, simply passing the right to work legislation would be a major stride. Make unions voluntary, open them up, give the employees freedom of choice.
Well, right to work, of course, may be popular with you, but that's not very popular with Pennsylvania. How many states have right to work?
There are 21 states that do have it, and I have to contradict you just a little bit, Dick, that it is indeed popular in Pennsylvania because all public opinion polls show that it is. The most recent one we took showed an incredible 79% of the public favor the issue, and getting back what Jim said, it goes back to the legislature. There, for some reason, they won't just do their job.
Well, I don't think that's right. To get good workmanship, you must have unions to protect the worker. If you have no unions, you might as well fold up.
Are you suggesting do away with the union?
Absolutely not. I feel probably more confidence in labor unions perhaps than George does, because I think labor unions would be stronger, they would grow faster, they would be certainly more responsive to the rank and file if membership were voluntary, if you weren't compelled to join as a condition of employment.
Okay, you're against the closed shop aspect of it, is that it?
The compulsory aspect. I think labor unions and
Well, how about the Sun Belt? Obviously the Sun Belt's been getting a lot of activity. Is this the reason, or what is the point?
Of the 21 right-to-work states in the recent Alexander Grant study that showed the manufacturing climate in Pennsylvania to be, I guess, 39th out of 50 states, the top 19 states, 18 of them were right-to-work states. Now, that has to be an indication for the legislator to at least explore the issue, but if you mention it to them, and I think Al probably knows this after 20 years in the trenches, they turn away like you've shown a cross to Dracula. That they are afraid of the political influence of the unions throughout the state.
All right, before we get too heavily blaming this on the local union, let's talk about what the local union has already done in the past. They've made concessions in the past, haven't they, George?
We made numerous concessions in the past. In, say, 1950, the company was after us to retire the truck line. We went along with it. They had